So I would like to start by having the definition, according to objectivism, of politics. Is politics part of philosophy? Is it a completely different thing? How can one relate to both? Does a politician need to have a philosophy?
Yes. yes. On a few fronts. Within philosophy, definitely a very important component is thinking about how human beings should live in society with others, in organized society. And that's what traditionally has been called politics or political philosophy. But politics in that sense isn't just the same as the kind of everyday following of elections or political parties or who's up in the polls or that kind of thing. But philosophy, and political philosophy in particular, is concerned with what are the basic conditions in a society that will allow the individuals to flourish in that society. So what sorts of principles should govern? You know, should they be free? Should they be compelled to act in this way or in that way? Does man have rights? You know, is there such a thing as an individual right? If so, how do you figure out what your rights are too? What is justice in society? So there are all sorts of political ideals that people have talked about over the years. People talk about equality in the political realm, or democracy, and so on. So the sort of subject matter of political philosophy is to figure out which of these principles are valid, exactly what they mean, what are their foundations. And then even when we think about just politicians today, you know, in Mexico, in Guatemala, in the US, in Poland, if they're to be, you know, if they want to be the elected governors, or if they're the self-appointed governors, the governors in society need to themselves be guided by the right ideas about the basics. So you're going to have to stop me sometimes, because I could go on and on and on.
Yeah,
so feel free.
Yeah, I mean, philosophy deals with the fundamental questions in these fields, and in politics it deals with these kind of fundamental questions that Tara spoke about. And in a sense, every human being needs a philosophy. Every human being has to have philosophy, but somebody who's in politics, who has the responsibility of determining the laws, of governing, in a sense, it's incumbent upon them more than anyone else. It should be part of their responsibility to have a clear philosophy, to have clear principles, to be able to articulate what those principles are, so that people know what they're voting for.
Right.
You know, too many politicians today don't have a philosophy, don't have principles, and you don't know what you're going to get. You're voting for them, but they might change their mind here, and they might change their mind there. They might do this, they might do that.
And you've got to think about, I mean, the power that politicians or public office holders hold, their power is tremendous, right? They have the power of the gun. They're the people in society who may force you to do things, whether or not you want to, right? Now, that's legitimate for certain purposes, but only for certain purposes. So it's really important that they be thoughtful in the deepest way about when is it legitimate for the government to use coercion? What kinds of laws are compatible with the whole reason we have government in the first place and so on. So they've really got to think it all through, yeah.